what happens when I need to renew my credential? Can I have two credentials? Let's talk first about the renewal requirements. The renewal requirements for all three credentials are the same. Each credential is valid only for 4 years, and to renew it, you can either take the exams again, or you need to provide proof of 40 hours of work experience in healthcare interpreting, and 32 hours of continuing education credits that you obtained during these 4 years. Let's consider this question. If I have the CoreCHI credential that expires in X months, and I take the ETOE exam now, will I still have to renew the CoreCHI credential? Answer is no. Once you pass the ETOE exam, you earn the CoreCHI-P credential, which is a higher tier. It's a performance certification. And your certification date will be the date of passing the ETOE exam. And your CoreCHI renewal cycle will start on that day. And you will no longer hold the CoreCHI credential. In other words, CoreCHI-P credential, you move higher up and you cancel out the previous credential, it stops to exist for you. Slightly different approach. If I practice two CoreCHI languages, let's say Portuguese and Italian, do I need to take any exams twice? And how do I get CoreCHI-P certification for both languages? You need to take each exam only once. For the CoreCHI-P credential, you'll take CoreCHI once, and if you're already a CoreCHI certificant, you did it 2, 3, 4, 6 years ago, and you need to take the ETOE exam only once. But to receive the certificate, you need to provide proof of the language proficiency in these two languages if you want to have two certificates. Once both of these language proficiency verification documents are accepted by CCHI, you'll pay an extra fee, and currently it's $10 to get that second certificate. So let's say right now you registered as a Portuguese interpreter, you take your ETOE exam, you pass, and that's the step when I recommend, if you speak any other languages that are in that CoreCHI P path, then you start submitting to us proof of your language proficiency in those additional languages. Now, I'm sure there are many interpreters like that, especially those who speak several Indian languages, or refugees from Afghanistan may speak Dari and Pashto at the same time. So many Arabic speakers speak French. So you will need to, if you want to get the CoreCHI-P certification, you'll need to take the ETOE exam, prove your language proficiency in French, and then you will get the CoreCHI-P certification for French, in addition to your CHI certification in Arabic. That's the path you can take. Another question. My Spanish credential expires in 2024. If I take the ETOE exam now, will this extend my certification? The answer is no. The CHI credential must be renewed on its own cycle. So if you are CHI Spanish, Arabic, Mandarin, you'll have to continue renewing it on that cycle, or you could lapse if you for some reason exit the profession and then come back several years later. But you have, for these bilingual exams, you will have to keep that cycle going. And in the future, we hope to add languages to that, path of bilingual performance testing. If you're CHI Spanish and you took the ETOE exam to get the CoreCHI-P credential, how will you align those? The commissioners will define how these two credentials will align for individuals who would hold these two certifications by around June of this year, because the first time we will issue the CoreCHI-P credential will be in June. That's when the scores are released, and mid-June you will receive the scores after passing the ETOE exam, and by that time we will finalize the renewal alignment for the two certificates. Another question in this section: do CHI certificants, in other words, interpreters of Arabic, Mandarin, and Spanish, need to take ETOE exams? And why might they want to? Now, the answer to the first question is no. CHI certificants already hold a performance tier certification credential. They do not need to take the ETOE exam. However, Some CHI certificates might want to take the ETOE exam for different reasons. Professional growth, as a voluntary contribution to the profession, because by taking the exam during the first administration, you are helping us to validate it. There may be other personal reasons. For example, if you're a manager of interpreting services and majority of your interpreters are not Spanish, you kind of want to lead by example. Or if you're a trainer and you have students who don't speak Spanish and want to be interpreters of other languages, you may want to know what it feels like to take that exam. So there are many, many reasons that people may want to add that credential, but you don't need to do that. Another question: if I have the CoreCHI credential that expires in X months and I fail the ETOE exam, will I still have the CoreCHI credential? Hey, the answer here is yes. You will still have your CoreCHI credential until it expires. Let's say it expires in December of 2023 and you failed the exam during the first testing window this year. You have it till December, then you can still renew it. You can retake the ETOE exam following the same policy as for the CHI exams. If I have the CoreCHI credential that expires in 2024, can I still renew it in 2024 without taking the ETOE exam? Yes, but let's do the math here. Keep in mind that in 2025, CCHI will announce the phasing out plan for the CoreCHI credential. And that phasing out plan will include X number of months that we will give all CoreCHI holders in 2025 to take the ETOE exam and move up to the CoreCHI performance certification credential level. So what that means is that if you renew your CoreCHI credential in 2024, that renewal will be valid for fewer than 4 years because, if you're lucky, you may be right on the border of 4 years. But financially speaking, in this situation, right, you have to pay the renewal fee. And then you'll still have to take the exam, ETOE exam, sooner than in 4 years expires. So it may be just better not to wait till 2024, which is just 10 months from now, and instead take the ETOE exam during this first testing window. And we strongly encourage all CoreCHI certificants to do it as soon as possible. So there could be a situation, let's say your certification, CoreCHI certification, expires on March 15th, right? And you took the ETOE exam on March 14th. You did not renew your certification because you thought, hey, I'm taking the ETOE exam, I'm going to pass it, and I'll get CoreCHI-P credential, and the clock will start again for me. But you got in June the requirements that you failed. So what happens then? We will offer you 2 paths. One is retake the ETOE exam within the next testing window, because obviously we'll have to give you time regardless, right? You cannot, force you to go backwards and produce CEs for the credential that already expired. So what we'll have to give you an extension, either to renew your credential for another 4 years or retake your exam. And we'll explain it to everybody on a case by, in the same consistent way, but we'll give you the specific dates depending on when your CoreCHI certification expired. But we'll do the extension in a reasonable and equitable manner because ultimately we want you to be certified. If a certificant holds CHI and CoreCHI credential concurrently, would certificates have CoreCHI-P credential for both languages? No, and I think that would apply probably for, let's say, Spanish, Arabic, and Mandarin interpreter. You will have your CHI Mandarin, CHI Spanish, CHI Arabic, then you put comma, and then you put CoreCHI-P, and then we have specific parameters of how you can produce your second language, which will be CoreCHI-P, brackets, Cantonese language proficiency, or French language proficiency, or Portuguese language proficiency, depending on what your CoreCHI-P credential credential is. So these are two different credentials, and you'll be holding both credentials. And in June, by June of this year, we will have the information on how the renewal of these both credentials will align. How long will the phasing process take place after 2025, specifically for interpreters whose renewal process of 21-25? You know, I wish I could give you more details, but the whole reason is that let me just walk you through the timeline. So we are introducing this credential now in 2023. In order for us to accredit this new exam, the requirements are to have 500 exams administered or be 1 year in existence. So we could apply for accreditation of that exam in 2024. And we will know by the end of 2024 that the exam is accredited, because we don't want to replace the CoreCHI credential that is currently accredited and make it with another credential until that credential is accredited. So once the CoreCHI-P credential is accredited, which would, again, we'll know by the end of 2024, then we will have this, path to how long will it take for us to discontinue CoreCHI. We cannot give you 1 month's notice. That's just not fair, right? Because we have testing windows. So most likely it will be, the minimum will be 12 months. If you read the CoreCHI credential requirements right now in your candidate's handbook, it says all CoreCHI certificants will be required to take a bilingual exam within 12 months to maintain their certification status and become CHI Portuguese, Russian, Vietnamese. Because we're replacing it with a performance exam, but a different way, monolingual, most likely the same thing will apply, because when we wrote that statement about CoreCHI credential in 2012, 10 years ago, right? We didn't know that we will have this new option of testing interpreters validly via a monolingual format. Now we know this. And so we'll need to, figure out what would be the most equitable and fair way. These are the situations that need to be voted by the Board of Commissioners. And guess what? The current board will not be in place in 2025 because we, have people term out. We only have, limited terms that people serve. I cannot answer for the board that will be in place in 2025. Rather than waiting, I would say take the ETOE exam as soon as possible. Then you wouldn't worry how it is sunset.